Hello, my name is Ken Dignan. I'm a pastor, a preacher, an author, a Bible teacher, and the executive director of Till Healing Comes Ministries. I was born in 1951, and then in 1952, I was 14 months old, I got polio. My parents didn't know if I was going to survive or just what. But I did survive, but then yet I was also dependent. I had to have braces, and I remember in my high chair, they put my arms on springs just so I could learn to get my hand to my mouth. That led me into a whole different way to look at life, because I couldn't ride a bike, I couldn't play with the kids outside as well. I did the best I could. There were a lot of challenges with the disability, but that it affected everything. I had surgeries on my shoulders, surgeries on my ankles to at least let me be able to walk, at least to help me to be able to at least move my arms. So they did the best they could with whatever surgeries were available and braces. So that's what I had to depend on. I was very dependent on others and dependent on doctors. Having a disability, having suffering, as I think in my life, there were many times I would just, being raised in a Christian environment, being raised in an environment where we did go to church, we did believe in the Bible and in Jesus Christ and God's purpose, still there were times I just had a hard time making it. But somehow, some way, I was always able to overcome that bitterness that could have taken over. I can't say it was just because I'm a cool guy and I'm really spiritual. Somehow, some way, my heart must have been protected by God to not allow it to crush me. Because I was in the environment in the late 60s. There was a lot of drugs out there in the hippie movement. I grew my hair long. I played the drums, played the guitar. I was in bands. So music was a great accomplishment to me, but it didn't lead me to a real depth of life inside. I was not really a student that much. I went to junior college and just kind of blew it off after a year and a half. Then all of a sudden I began to have a hunger and passion for the Bible and theology. And boom, somehow, I went to my first Bible study in somebody's basement, and I came to hear about the reality of God. They were excited about their Bible. They were playing guitars and singing worship songs. And I said, wow. And I said, this is cool. I ended up continuing to study through distance education, whatever. I earned a doctorate in theology, and I began to really zero in on that, and that's when I began to write books then. Wrote my first book in 1992 about why can't we get healed? How do you deal with healing? Can you pray for somebody? Have you ever prayed for somebody and they died? Or have you ever prayed for somebody and they did get a healing? Is it you who's doing it or all that? It's that understanding of the mysteries of divine healing. And that's in my first book, Till Healing Comes. Then I wrote my second book through the death of my son Ryan, as sadly enough through bipolar disorder and great manic depression and self-medicating. He committed suicide in 2002, December 14th, at 20 years of age, which was very tough. And at that time, I preached my son's own memorial service. That was hard, but we got through that. And then eventually, my wife and I led something called Survivor of Suicide Support Group for families who've lost loved ones. It's one of the second to third leading killers of children, teenagers, and young adults. It's terrible. Suffering is there, and it is real. But I believe there is an answer, and I believe there is a reason. And that's why in my recent book, Making Sense of a Suffering World, we can make sense of it somehow, that God uses it to strengthen us, to draw us closer to Him. I'm also a pastoral counselor. I do hospital visitation for people who are hospitalized, or people who are ill, people who are maybe in a nursing home and they can't get out, so they have to live there for the rest of their lives. I try to encourage them. I'm involved in a lot of things. If you're interested in being a person of the Bible, I want to help. And I want to be able to be called alongside of you and your church. And you can get in touch with our ministry, Till Healing Comes Ministries, by going to www.thcmin.org. Or you can call it at 708-935-9519. And you can even send it to us at a mailing, THCM 14367 West 159th Street, Homer, Glen, Illinois 60491. God bless you, and I've really enjoyed sharing with you through this video.